Welcome to the 2v2 water hazard map. First to reach 5 kills will win this. I am Mr. Beachbum 313. I am practicing Guns of Icarus casting Ryder. I am one of their minor league guys if they need to pinch hit for them. Loading level data. Water hazard was recently added in as a 2v2 map, that along with Fight over Fernfeld. Originally 3v3 exclusive maps. Let's go through the loadouts. For the red team, on the friend fish, it's a goldfish being piloted by Dementio. Watch a fish with a carronade and another carronade, double carronade on the sides. For the other ship, the Medic Center Contempt, it's a Mobula being piloted by Wonderzals. You got a flak up top. You have, what is that? You've got a Hades, and you have a flare gun on the wings, and underneath you have, I believe that's a couple of, you've got, I can't even see what that is. You've got, another Hades and an Artemis underneath. Interesting build. For the blue team, much experimental. It is a, yeah, that's much experimental. It is a, we've got ourselves Artemis and Mercury. It's a Pyramidion being flown by Princess Tutu. Artemis and Mercury along the front with a Gatling and Banshee along the sides. And then for the Syphilis, that is a heavy that's a flakfish being flown by Mitsa Wildcard. Mine Launcher and Banshee along the sides, and already we had engagements going on. We got shots being fired through the clouds. These two teams pretty much know where each other are. Yep, Syphilis being spotted, though no red ship being spotted. Oh, scratch that. Meta Center Contempt has been spotted. Pot shots are being fired by each side. And, Meta Center has still been spotted. Friendfish looks to spot much experimental. Don't really have too many shots being fired yet. However, Pyramidion is flying straight over this goldfish as they look to target the Meta Center Contempt. Syphilis being spotted, and the Syphilis spots the friendfish. It looks like as though these watch going off on the friendfish with, wait a minute, Syphilis. That is, excuse me, that's a Carofish. That is not, I thought originally that was flak. I didn't think that was that big of a, that popular. Watch it exposing the hull of the much experimental as Meta Center using two Hades. Friendfish coming in hopefully for another disable. Meanwhile, Syphilis looking to take out the balloon of the friendfish. Is that a buffed? Okay, that is a buffed carronade, for the record. Taking out the balloon of the friendfish pretty darn easily. Meta Center still sniping out the much experimental. Much experimental hull armor going down momentarily there. With those two Hades. Don't often see two Hades. It's quite a unique setup on the Meta Center Contempt. Meta Center now switching to the Syphilis as their target, hoping to assist their friendfish. Friendfish's balloon goes down once again as Syphilis rises back up to face off against the Meta Center. Syphilis's hull armor is going down. Hull armor still exposed. Flak coming in just too late as the Much Experimental comes back in for round 2 against the Meta Center. Meanwhile, Friendfish is still down, firing off a Hwacha Burst into the engine column, taking out one engine. Hull's on fire on the Syphilis, but not too much damage being taken. Meanwhile, Meta Center, Contempts, Hull Armor, and Balloon down and exposed. Flak missing, no, excuse me, that's Much Experimental. That was Merc shots coming out, not Flak. I keep thinking it's Flak, but it's Merc. That was missing ever so slightly. Friendfish using its side carronades against the Syphilis as its Hwacha comes down, kills the Syphilis. It is 1-0 in favor of Ryder. Metacenter and Friendfish both losing their spots as Much Experimental is left dazed and confused out somewhere. They're backing off into a corner. Now, personally, as I guess the commentator's notes, this map is still so new, I don't even really know where the spawns are. But there's one of them. Syphilis spawning in pretty much right behind... Who is that? They spawn in a tree. But they spawn pretty much right behind the Meta Center Contempt. If they can get around that, that would be a perfect ambush. I don't think the Riders know that much about the spawns either quite yet. This is an angry carronade fish on the backside of an exposed the backside of an exposed Mobula. But the Hwacha fish comes back for support. Much Experimental closing distance on the Much Contempt. Metasetter Contempt. Hull Armor down. They dodge it, I think, with their pop balloon. They sink down below. As Much Experimental overshots. Another Hwacha Burst coming in on the Syphilis. Metacenter getting everything back online. However, they're still in the crosshairs of Much Experimental. Syphilis looking to get behind. Oh, what is this? Metacenter firing on the Syphilis. The Friendfish coming back. Point blank Hwacha Bursts going down on the Syphilis. Their Hull Armor was exposed. Their balloon is popped. Much Experimental closing distance on the Metacenter. Metacenter needs to start backing up to make use of that range that they've got. Friendfish Syphilis popping, or looks to pop, the balloon of the Friendfish. It achieves that goal. Metacenter now very low battle down here. Much Experimental's balloon is down. Metacenter looks to grind out the Much Experimental. Quite close to bringing down that Hull Armor with those two Hades. Meanwhile, Syphilis comes in looking to pop. Ooh. Experimental goes down 2-0 in favor of Ryder. Syphilis undershoots the Metacenter. They look to be running away, actually, from that Hwacha fish. Hoping to disable the carronade fish. Syphilis is on the run. They don't really have that much going for them anymore. These guys have no intentions of really doing that much damage. They're in full tank mode right now against these two very angry Ryder ships. They are disabled. They've got a few of their guns are down. They can't fight back. That's a goldfish ram. Balloon goes down. All three engines are down. Syphilis is being ground out. 3-0 in favor of Ryder. Meanwhile, Much Experimental pretty much... yeah, they're getting out of there. They are definitely going to get out of there. They are running away. They cannot afford another loss. Riders are in that kind of territory where next engagement could easily win it for them. No one's been spotted, however. That Mobula is going high. The goldfish is going. The friendfish is going low. Syphilis spawning back in, right in the Ryder's sights. Pyramidion looking to maybe flank around. Metacenter getting spotted as sniping tries to happen on the Syphilis. Friendfish also getting spotted as much experimental will maybe try to support. This next battle is probably going to be more long range than anything else. Friendfish looking to flank around one of these spires here. Going a little bit outside the map. Hopefully the trade winds won't completely knock them off. Their flank is... They get spotted once again. Drawing the fire of blue team. Meanwhile, on that Mobula, I don't know what they're doing either. They're leaving the friendfish alone. They're leaving the friendfish alone. Take on a few of these ships together. It doesn't look to be going too well for him either. Balloon going down on the friendfish. Syphilis looking to pursue. Full Watcher Burst missing on the Syphilis. Friendfish's hull armor still going down. But there's the meta center. That's the new target of the Syphilis. They know that beautiful Mobula's balloon is an easy target. Syphilis looks like it's getting caught up a little bit. They want a ram. They get the ram. It's 3-1. But Syphilis has the friendfish right below them, right behind them. Their hull armor was exposed. Much Experimental's balloon goes down somehow. Don't know how. But right now the main battle is between Friendfish and Syphilis here. Syphilis. I feel bad for calling it Syphilis, but it's Sisyphus. I can't tell. Friendfish looking to get away, looking to get support from their Mobula ally that just spawned back in full health. Mobula is like over there. Friendfish being pursued by Sisyphus as they hit a spire. As Metacenter looks to get some long range support in there. Hades shots coming in as the Friendfish turns. And it looks like it's going to go for a Watcher Burst. Meanwhile, the Much Experimental is just trying to go for their own long-range support. A few flak shots missing. Sisyphus taking cover behind some of these structures here. So Much Experimental is still a target. Looks like the Friendfish is going to flank around. Mobula being the main target of blue team right now, as red team still unspotted. Red team looks... That's pretty unsuccessful broadside if you ask me. Metacenter's hull armor is going down. The balloon is still intact. Get back up with very minimal perma-hull damage. Friendfish now coming in with a point-blank... Another point-blank Watcher Burst. Friendfish's hull armor is still down, though. So that could be concern for them. But Syphilis, their hull armor goes down first. Their balloon is down. Hull armor going down again, as Much Experimental can only really... Well, they can do a lot. Friendfish's hull armor is down as well. Friendfish keeps to look... Can't speak. Friendfish looks to keep their blue counterpart of a goldfish disabled still. Sisyphus is just... they're cornered. They can't do that much, but Meta Center's whole armor and balloon going down from the much experimental. Can't really doubt the much experimental. They're being effective as a support. Meta Center's on the retreat as Sisyphus is... that was more of a successful Watcher burst. Meta Center's entire... their balloons down. Meta Centers must be on full tank mode right now. I can't imagine why they... Oop. Meta Center goes down. Sisyphus looks like it's about to go down as well. Their balloon's down. Yep. Oh, ooh, ooh. They get their whole armor back up at the last minute. This match is very low to the ground still. Sisyphus is just getting lucky now. Friendfish needs to be dealing with much experimental. They need to disable that shit before they can really go in and kill the Sisyphus. Much experimental knows that. They're backing up. Much experimental getting a face full of Hwacha as the Mobula spawns back with its own Hades support fire. Friendfish's whole armor almost exposed there. Much experimental is exposed as well. Sisyphus looks to re-enter this fight against the Meta Center as much experimental goes down, leaving Sisyphus all alone with two angry red ships. I don't see this going well for the Gents as far as they're fighting. However, the Friendfish's balloon going down as they look to be backing off. They're moonshining in reverse right now. And they're right in the comfortable range of the Meta Center. That nice medium to long distance. Sisyphus's hull armor was quite low. They keep moonshining. Two of their engines are on fire. They've got less than 10% of their hull integrity left. Friendfish is just being left below, left back in the dust. Meanwhile, it looks as though much experimental is doing more long-range sniping. The red team knows that it's going to be the goldfish that's going to be their next target. They want that as their next target because it's going to be the easiest one to kill. However, if anything comes in too close, well, like how the blue team is hiding behind a mountain right now. You can't see me. You can't see me. You cannot see me. You definitely can't see him. Meanwhile, flares getting popped. The Friendfish is very low to the water, leaving its Mobula allies bait. Definitely saw something out that way, but they can't really determine what because of the cloud cover. Another flare was popped. However, what is this? The Sisyphus was able to successfully navigate its way back to its ally. Now it's red team's move. They're going to want to most likely search out the blue team. However, the blue team is advancing across the water hazard. Much experimental and Friendfish are getting spotting each other. Sorry about that, I sneezed. But, yeah. Sisyphus being spotted. Much experimental taking fire from the Meta Center Contempt. Now they switch their targets to the Sisyphus. Sisyphus again reversing using Moonshine. Meanwhile, I have no idea where where Friendfish is gone. Red team may be trying for a pincer here. Not entirely sure. Blue team heading off into the east, or excuse me, into the west. That is west. That's definitely west. As the Friendfish looks to cut them off. Friendfish missing a few of the Watcha. That's the rest of the Watcha. Friendfish's balloon going down, though, as the Sisyphus comes in with its Carronade. Is that Carronade buffed? That Carronade is indeed buffed. Friendfish's hull armor going down. They get back up at the expense of their balloon. They're going to, looks, oh, they're going for ram. 4-3 and still in favor of red team, but that Mobula is all alone now. Sisyphus is the target of Meta Center Contempt. Much Experimental looking to close the distance between the Meta Center. Now the Meta Center is the target of the, or the Much Experimental is the target of the Meta Center. Meta Center's hull armor almost going down there. They're getting it back up. Friendfish spawns back in pretty much on the other side of the map. Meta Center's hull armor exposed. But also the Much Experimental's hull armor is exposed as well. If they can get successful flak shots, that might finish them off. Gets rammed by this Pyramidion. Their balloon is on fire. Their balloon may go down. Meanwhile, that is pretty darn concentrated. That has to be heavy clip on that Watcha. Meta Center's balloon going down as it looks as though the Friendfish targets the Syphilis, or Sisyphus. That's a pretty good disable job done by the Friendfish. Much Experimental, the target of those Hades shots as they rise up and out of the way of the Much Experimental. They switch sides. They switch targets, the red team. Meta Center going after the Sisyphus as Friendfish goes after the Experimental. Experimental are getting Carronade bursts from those side guns on the Friendfish. Meta Center and Friendfish collide in midair. I do believe that the Much Experimental is the new target of Friendfish. They still get it. Much Experimental's everything is down. They have no hull armor. They have their hull armor exposed. They had not a single engine up. They had pretty much all of their guns were down as well. Friendfish, I say that as Friendfish rams into the Sisyphus. Much Experimental's balloon still going down from that power from the Mobula. Those two Hades bringing the balloon down as well. Friendfish and the Sisyphus still going down and at each other. The hulls on the blue team are still exposed as Much Experimental still gets bombarded. They look to be switching targets to the Friendfish. It looks as though Much Experimental may ground out along the ground here. It's only a matter of time before those flak shots hit. Ooh, and that's game. Red team wins 5-3, I believe. Meta Center Contempt and Friendfish. And that would be game. Thank you so much for watching, guys.